Well, good morning, friends. I want to ask you a question. Are you a control freak? It's a bit of an intense question, isn't it? Are you a control freak? What I mean is this. Are you a micromanager? Are you someone that loves to have the last word? I wonder, are you like that? Sometimes even the more relaxed of us, the more kind of laid back, actually like to be in control. Some of you maybe are backseat drivers. I hate backseat drivers. They're there putting their foot on the brake when someone else is driving. Deep down, we all want to be in control, don't we? There's nothing worse than being out of control. And we're living in a season at the moment where, well, we're out of control. We can't control anything, it seems, anymore. And there's a big question, which is this: how do you respond when we're out of control? I wonder whether we should rejoice. I wonder whether in this season of being out of control, there is a lesson that will help us. Let me read to you a very famous account in the life of Jesus, a favourite of mine, and I'm sure it's a favourite of yours. From Mark chapter 4, Jesus calms the storm. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. One of the big lessons in our Christian faith is to learn that we're not in control. One of the biggest fallacies, one of the big fake news, one of the biggest falsehoods in life is the idea that we are ever in control. How many times have we thought all of our plans were done, we prepared for everything, and then we were blindsided by something else? Actually, so often we can't control not only others, but ourselves. And a big part of the Christian life and maturity is to learn, no, I'm not in control. And that is horrendously scary. The disciples here were in a boat and a furious squall came up and the boat was nearly swamped. And there are times in life where we feel overwhelmed. We feel as if we're going to go overboard. But the amazing news of this passage is that Jesus is with us in the storm. Now, when Jesus is with us in the storm, and we know he knows about the storm, I think we're just with the disciples. What do the disciples do? They wake him up and they say, "Don't you care? Don't you care?" When the world is out of control and when our life is out of control, we do go to Jesus, but we go to Jesus with an accusation. Don't you care? Now, what I find amazing here is that Jesus doesn't turn around and lecture them and say, "Of course I care. Look, I created the world. I've come in incarnation into the world." He doesn't just give them a lecture. No, what does he do? He stands up and he rebukes the wind and the waves. He takes control. He shows his control. And everything dies down. The amazing news is when you know you're not in control, you go to Jesus for care. And when you go to Jesus for care, he is the one who is in control. Some of us need to give up our notions of being in control. Some of us need to give up our fears that God does not care. No, I am not in control, but Jesus does care, and Jesus is in control, and therefore I can trust in him. This is a message that not only we need to hear, but our friends and family need to hear as well. Our neighbours need to hear. Our work colleagues need to hear. And so this Sunday evening, we're starting back a new series in the Watering Hole. And we're going to be interviewing our very own Lydia Sibley. And we're going to be talking about issues of control. And what happens when you can't control your life? How do you respond? Perhaps sometimes when we can't control one part of our life, we try and control another part of our life. And one of those areas that we're going to be discussing on Sunday evening is the whole area of eating disorders. and how actually if we can't control some things in our life, we will try and take control in other areas, and how unhealthy that is, but also how finding Christ and giving control to him can free us from so much. And so I'd encourage you to tune in on Sunday evening, and as well to spread the word, to encourage people to come along and to listen in to that. But here's my winter warmer for you today. If you're not in control and you know it, you're on the road to blessing. Cry out to Jesus, because he cares for you and he's in control.